Today on the Topping Show, Bill Burr says free Luigi as his dive into leftism continues. A leftist professor records himself pleasuring himself on campus and goes viral. Videos of dozens of Democrats noting egg prices go viral as well as they speak in a monolith. Porsche, thank God, says they will keep the ICE engine around for the Panamera for many years. And Ford recalls the Navigator due to a fire risk. All of that, much more on the Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Guys say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free Flamethrower with every IT purchase. And it does come with a fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15, like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the Flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part podcast, you have Porsche saying the Panamera will continue to have the ICE option for many years, far into the 2030s, which is glorious, great news. That is until the tyrannical dictators, I mean the European Union, kill all ICE cars by 2030 in, well, you know, Europe. But maybe we'll still get it. Now, this comes to us thanks to Motor1.com, in which they say, quote, the Porsche Panamera will have a gas engine for long years to come. The Cayenne will also offer a ICE powertrain as well, far into the 2030s. And here you can see the Porsche Panamera, which, for a car with 4 doors, looks pretty darn good. Though, of course, you know my first critique of what they need to fix when it comes to that abomination of a vehicle. Gotta give it 3 pedals, baby. Give the option for a manual transmission. That would be so cool. Porsche isn't doing it. I mean, Porsche used to do the craziest things. They put a stick shift into a V8 SUV in, was it 2008, 2009? For the Cayenne GTS. And more recently, I believe it was 2016 to 2018. Yeah, the Cayenne, but it was just the V6, but still came with a stick, which is pretty cool. Again, it's not going to be the #1 best-selling option, obviously, but just to make the enthusiast smile, and people will buy it. Mark my word. If you had a family and you want to have some fun, you want 3 pedals, how cool would it be to have a Panamera with a stick shift? But I partially digress. Now, Adrian is accredited to the writer over there. He says, quote, it's been a busy week for Porsche. In addition to announcing plans to develop a new gas engine SUV to replace the Macan, the company also expressed its long-term commitment to ICE. CEO Oliver Bloom revealed during an annual press conference that the Cayenne and Panamera will retain gas power far into the 2030s. Now, I'm definitely going to butcher this name, not intentionally. Zuffenhausen. That sounds German. We'll go with that. Says the development of both models will continue. Now, it is a little disappointing in terms of you make this beautiful engine, you can cover it with a big hunk of garbage plastic. Which, if you're an enthusiast at first, that's the first thing you toss into the trash, or if you're British, the dustbin. I mean, there's a beautiful V8 engine hidden under that piece of plastic. And I know that people say, well, it's for sound deadening. Hello, you're buying a V8 glorious vehicle? Why would you not? You want to hear that sound? Come on. But I, again, partially digress. They say, while the Panamera recently switched to the next generation model, the Cayenne has been around since the current form, since 2017. Granted, the posh SUV, also the 3rd iteration, received a comprehensive facelift in 2023. Don't worry about the downsizing because Porsche has already said the Cayenne will keep its V8 post 2030. It should be the same story for the Panamera, with both likely keeping the V6 for lesser versions. Plug-in and hybrids are here to stay and will offer a longer electric range for all 25 people who want them. Okay, I did add that second part, but you know that's not a high volume thing for the company. They say, why is Porsche betting on ICE once again? Long story short, it realized the previous announcement lofty EV goals were unfeasible. And nobody wants them. I take that back. 18 to 25 people want them. Again, if you want an EV, you're not going to buy a Porsche. You're buying a Porsche because you want to live. You want to have that 3rd pedal. You want to downshift to the corner. You're an enthusiast. Now, they also say that, quote, during the press conference, Porsche's head honcho admitted that the objective of having EVs account for... They thought it would account for 80% of their annual sales by the end of the decade is now unrealistic. No crap, Sherlock. I mean, even the biggest auto companies in the world for EVs, aka Tesla, even their sales aren't doing great. And the adoption rate for EVs is decreasing, especially in the United States. The biggest growing category, which I kind of disdain, is hybrids, which, trash vehicles after a couple years because of the batteries. But nevertheless, that's where a lot of consumers are going. A lot of people are also realizing, wait, if I want a car to last more than 10, 20 years, gotta be a gas engine. That's the way to go. Now, they also say that in 2024, only 12.7% of the cars delivered had no combustion engines, which actually is pretty high for Porsche. I can't believe 12.7% of all Porsche buyers said they want EV. What? Really? Come on, folks. And they say, if approved, the new SUV we mentioned earlier would launch closer to 2030, which means Porsche will have 4 gasoline models on sale the next decade, including the 911, which obviously that's the most important, profitable, iconic vehicle they make. They won't be so mentally vacuous to kill that anytime soon. They say further investments into ICE portfolio will not hamper the rollout of new EVs. The fourth generation EV-only Cayenne debuts later this year. Have fun with that. It'll be followed shortly by a 718 Boxster Cayman EV. For all 28 idiots want. It has the dumbest idea on the planet. Because again, if you want a fun track car, you want to drive it on the track, you can't recharge it between sessions because that takes hours. With the current technology, also don't have the fire suppression technology or the liability insurance. Most tracks don't have that for EVs. So yeah, to have a car that's supposed to be a fun track toy be an EV, which, yeah, ridiculous. But they're going to make it, apparently. A large 3-row SUV with electric drivetrains is also coming in a decade. Porsche has been saying for years that the 911 will be the last car to offer combustion engines, so its future is safe, which is good and bad in terms of it's bad because it's heartbreaking because, again, the Cayman was a much more attainable thing. Again, it's still, to me, a crazy amount of money, $70,000. But compared to the 911, that starts at, I think, $119,000. So that $119,000, I mean, that's I was about to say a house, not in Texas, in Iowa. But yeah, relative to, it sucks that the entry-level fun, great bang for your buck Cayman is being bastardized and turned into an EV. But I partially digress. I say it has also taken matters into its own hands by starting to make e-fuel at its Punta areas in Chile, where it filled the first 911 on nearly carbon neutral fuel by late 2022. The e-fuel is made from water and carbon dioxide using wind energy. I'm sure Porsche 911 owners are really appreciative of that. So again, some good news. They're starting to, wake up to the free market, and hopefully they don't bow down to the European Union. And Germany grows a backbone and, says, hey, wait a minute, we carry the European Union. We're the best country by innovation and GDP. Why are we carrying all these guys again and bowing down to their arbitrarious BS rules? And why are we doing that again? So again, some great news. They're going to continue to make gas engines. Again, I would love if they made a third. Again, if they had a third pedal for the Panamera, that'd be even cooler. But let me know. I mean, do you think Porsche's making the right investments here? Do you think maybe this lost opportunity and EVs are going to jump off the lots and just sell really quick in the next couple of years? I mean, obviously kidding, but let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Cultural Part podcast, you have Bill Burr saying free Luigi as he dives more into leftism as he becomes more and more mentally vacuous. Many speculate thanks to his crazy leftist wife. Now, this comes to us thanks to Combat, in which he has a little clip of Bill Burr at a shoe store as Bill Burr very passionately rallies against capitalism and how evil it is, as he's made millions of dollars in a capitalistic society built by millionaires and billionaires investing in infrastructure and people working with them. But no, he hates all of that now. Right. Let's hear what Billy has to say over here. Maybe he'll actually surprise us with some very articulate reasons on why we should eliminate those folks. Obviously not, but we'll hear what he has to say.
Yeah, they brought it back a couple of times, and they went with cheaper leather.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because some corporate cunt had to give himself a fucking bonus check at the end of the year. What if we made it worse, but made it look the same?
Yeah.
Then could our pools be bigger?
Not
Free
okay.
Luigi!
Yeah, Bill Burr. How the mighty have fallen, which, yeah, I can't imagine anyone paying for his content these days. And this went pretty viral. I got 7.3 million views and 65,000 likes, which is quite a few to say the least. One of the first comments comes from Evan, and again, cover your ears if you have children listening, because it's definitely not child friendly. And he says Bill Burr is the biggest cuck in comedy. And it's a little comic meme of Bill Burr. Says Elon is a Nazi, but you know who's worse? White women, dude. My black wife rules. Just bought her a 12-inch strap-on. She's going to love it. Gained 2,000 likes. And W also says, All these shit libs suddenly being murder apologists because the dude got gunned down in the street was wealthy white dude is effing hilarious. Getting 1.3 thousand likes. But we're told it's a party of peace and tolerance. Yeah. Friendly reminder, the United CEO had a family, and the profit margin for that company is less than 3%. Yeah, if you want to look at what companies are making the most profit, again, I don't think violence is ever the answer. If you're looking for like who has the most profit in the equation of healthcare, yeah, pharmaceutical companies, they have the biggest double-digit profits, almost 50%. It's crazy. You also have Sweet River of Pain saying, "What a sad bitch Bill Burr has become," getting 955 likes. Drawcell Painting says, quote, "Bill Burr keeps it real. Sorry, y'all. Billionaire cucks get triggered." A contrarian statement getting 2.2 thousand likes. So I suppose this person is cheering on. I don't know why you cheer on murder, but you know that's what they do. You have Deep Right Oprah dropping down the racism, saying, quote, "Pro tip for white men, never marry a black woman," getting 2.2 thousand likes. Jenna, spelled GENNNUUUHHH, says, "I love seeing all these fascists cucked by billionaires pissing their pants over Bill Burr. Keep crying snowflakes." And this person has a trans flag in their emoji and a purple heart. No, not veteran, I'm sure. Getting 1.1 thousand likes. Ramp Capital says, "I don't think anyone has fallen further than Bill Burr," getting 586 likes. This is perhaps the most contiguous comment section we've seen in a while. Contrarian comments, it's almost a 50-50 split. Sonny says, "If the CEO of United Health was anyone but a white man, no one would be saying free Luigi. The fact the entire story would be looked differently and with a different lens," getting 164 likes. JC says, "Wow, what a sick F. I guess his DEI wife pulled his leash extra tight lately," getting 258 likes. Which, yeah, he's become more and more weak lately, more and more acquiescing to her thought track. If you ever listen to his, I forget if it's a weekly or daily podcast that he hosts with his wife. But yeah, like 10 years ago, Bill Burr actually had a rare thing. Most leftists don't have these, but he had a rare thing called a spine and a backbone. Again, very rare to see these days. But yeah, he actually stood up to his wife and he actually had his own ideals and thoughts. Nowadays, not so much. He basically just mimics her. You also have Lady Heket saying, quote, "Millionaire communist comes out to support trust fund assassin FM," getting 538 likes. Yep. Yeah, Bill Burr also reminds me of that, who's that sellout loser? Oh yeah, Bernie Sanders. Again, decades ago, Bernie Sanders would go, "It's all about the billionaires, these millionaires have too much money. Capitalism is evil, it's terrible." Which, again, talk about someone who's just leashed off the system and never contributed anything to society. That's Bernie Sanders. Hilariously, Bernie Sanders used to rally against the millionaires. He changed his vernacular, and now he only talks about billionaires. Partially because, yep, lo and behold, he became a millionaire. Also gets lots of money from him. If you look at, what industry supports him the most, oh yeah, Big Pharma. Andrew says, quote, "Billionaires bad, don't hate me, I'm just a humble millionaire." Yes, spot on, gained 791 likes. Actually, 792 likes. CZ Canadian Flag says, "What an absolute moron," getting 587. Let's make it 588 likes. Feels so bad for C2. Imagine being stuck in Canada with America right there. Freedom is so close. You also have, let's see here. Calvin the Gamer says, quote, "Bill Burr is the greatest that ever did, especially the best comic in his generation, consistently on the side of the people," getting 76 likes. A contrarian statement yet again. Although, maybe it's not contrarian at this point, it's almost 50-50. John Tudor says, "Bill Burr's a commie homo with a large following of low IQ beta males who fall for his gay-ass shtick," getting 67 likes. Do one more. Whoopsie Daisy says, quote, "What the F happened to this effing guy, Bill Burr? It's like he was forced to compensate for being middle of the road and likable for the last 20 years, getting 107 likes." Yeah, never forget, the one time I had a post on the YouTube where I did a poll. The one time there was 100% was when I asked, "Do you think Bill Burr is right when he said California is doing a good job handling the wildfires?" 100% people said, no, they are not. Bill Burr went on a talk show and gave accolades to the morons leading California, saying that they did a good job with the fires. When they forgot you need water to fight fires, which anyone with modicum of intelligence would know, the water reserves, they should probably have water in them to fight the fires so that when the hydrants are turned on, you have water to fight fires. I know that's a complex ideal, perhaps for some leftists, but again, with anyone from modicum of intelligence, you would think, yeah, it'd be pretty, pretty self-explanatory, probably be a simple thing. And again, we'll see. And And again, interestingly enough, for years, I would say most people who supported Bill Burr were probably more middle of the road or even more right wing in general. Again, he's already made his money. I'm not sure how much this will hurt his bottom off his sales. If it is, maybe it's not even 1%. Maybe it's, I don't think it'll even be double digits, maybe. But let me know. Do you think Bill Burr actually have any fiscal sufferings from this in terms of will his box office sales go down? Will his merch sales go down? Or do you think a majority of Bill Burr supporters actually believe what he's saying? Maybe they actually give him more support and buy more stuff from him. Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have a leftist professor posting videos of himself doing adult things on campus and going viral. Which, yeah, when I say adult things, he's not paying taxes on campus. Hilarious enough, that is one of my most favorite Calvin and Hobbes comic strips when they're talking about a movie being rated, for an adult audience. And he's like, oh no, that's boring stuff. Like Dad said is taxes, which actually is true in terms of like the things you do as an adult that suck. Yeah, taxes are one of the top things. Now, this comes with thanks to Lives at TikTok, in which she says, quote, LOTT investigation, LGBTQ professor at a public university posts extreme adult videos of himself pleasuring himself, not with tax deductions, on campus. His name is Kyle Miller, a research assistant professor at, what crappy university is this? SIU, what the hell is that? SIU Medicine. He operates several social media accounts where he posts videos of himself pleasuring himself on various locations on the campus grounds. Which, but remember, we're told Republicans are weird. Right. And it goes back to Liberals TikTok saying, quote, he reportedly takes requests from users on Blue Sky, of course, on which campus location he will self-pleasure himself at. He claims that he has been almost caught and finds additional pleasure for the risk. This person is a professor who teaches students at a taxpayer-funded institution. This needs to be investigated immediately, which, yeah, he looks especially creepy, which is saying something. Now, granted, at least he did suit up in this picture that he has on the school website. And I don't want to say red flag number one, but one of the top red flags would be him wearing a bow tie, which I think the only person in the past 50 years that could pull off a bow tie look would be Tucker Carlson. I don't know anyone sane or normal who was worn a bow tie in 50 years. In fact, I don't even know anyone who owns one. Let me know, is that a red flag? If you were to show up on a date and you see a guy wearing a bow tie, what do you think? Oh dear God, what is he? What's going on here? Let me know about that. Now, his title is Research Assistant Professor, Population Science and Policy, and claims that his primary responsibilities include managing data collection efforts, proposal development, data analysis, study coordination, yada, yada, yada. And this pre-eval got 1.5 million views and 20,000 likes, which is blurred out, but if you have kids, I should preface this whole segment of the show, cover your ears if you have trouble listening, because it's definitely not friendly. And there's pictures of him. Now they put the little black box over it so you can't see it, but yeah, it looks like he's in a classroom multiple times with, I don't know what you call it. It's a really douchey look where you have the t-shirt on, but all the buttons are they're undone on the front, which kind of defeats the purpose of having the shirt. It's like you have the shirt, but it's only keeping your back warm. Really weird. But yeah, he has that pose in the classroom with his junk out. And they have a picture of him in his office, apparently, with his junk out. Then even in the hallway with his junk out, which also, not just creepy and, morally vacuous, also, pretty unsanitary. Now, I don't think that would be very wise. And, wow, just that photo got 1.7 million views. Now, one of the first comments comes from Liz at TikTok. She goes, how's this person a professor? And she says, quote, says Kyle Miller. He actually posted a video of himself, campus. He admits to being in federal prison. What? A year before. He's very much anti-Trump and pro-LGBTQ, they missed the plus this time, activist. And in true, you're guilty when they got rid of his profile. Yeah, so it looks like he used to be known as the Midwest Otter on the X. And she says, the masturbating professor is gone. Was it something I said? Getting 2.5 thousand likes, which, yeah, actually missing a step in the order of operations. Usually when people get, exposed on the internet, they first disable the comments for everyone, and then they delete their own profile. So interesting that he just went straight to the delete button. Now, some of the top comments, Liberty TikTok says his profile was deleted on the LinkedIn website. which I'm sure he'll get a job working at the DNC soon. He only had 100, of course he would be in Illinois. He had only 146 friends, and he does, of course, have the pronouns he, him on the LinkedIn. And, looks like he deleted his LinkedIn page. Oh, no. Now, they also say that update he's removed from the college's website. Interesting. He might actually have some consequences. Probably not. The university will probably, give him a promotion and put him in the corner of a campus. Maybe. Now, the tech guy said they responded with a nothing statement. They say, quote, "This is SIU Carbondale." Say, quote, "We are aware of the situation and take all matters related to professional conduct seriously. While we cannot discuss personnel issues, we want to emphasize that we are committed to fostering a respectful workplace and will address inappropriate behaviors accordingly." Getting 984 likes. Sure. Valentina Gomez says, quote, "We have a bunch of pedos and groomers in our schools. Every single one should be investigated." Getting 2.7 thousand likes, which this is reason number 10,958,735,006 to not go to public schools and homeschool your kids. I don't see much of an upside these days. Anti-woke memes says pure insanity, and it looks like a screenshot from an article. It says Washington schools must teach LGBTQ history in 2025 per bill signed by Inslee. They got 175 likes. Gunther Eagleman says he needs to be removed, getting 1.7 thousand likes. Riley Gaines says EU White, getting 270 likes. E. Miles Chong says WTF, getting 48 likes. Yeah. Sir Kobayeth says, quote, "Oh, look, another Blue Sky weirdo / pedo." Is an article from eMerge saying Blue Sky sees surge in new users and child abuse material. Getting 1.8 thousand likes, which interesting how leftist platforms always devolve into that. Let's see. Dave says, "Why is anyone surprised?" And it just says the guy's profile picture, getting 452 likes. He also has those weird earrings where I think they call it the gauge earrings, and he's also a man. He has earrings. It's a red flag number 3. But yeah, he has the earrings where like they take out a chunk. Yeah, getting 452 likes. Maga's the Fix says, "This is what our education system has become, a bunch of degenerates," getting 347 likes. Yep. Any contrarian statements? I don't see any thus far. Kelly says, "I hope this person gets removed as a professor and arrested immediately," getting 248 likes. T.S. Waters says, "Universities were long ago taken over by radical leftists where they are free to indoctrinate the young and recruit more into their depraved practices. Universities are full of easy prey for liberals, especially the public universities." Getting 471 likes, and yeah, fact check true. You look at most universities are just nothing more than brainwashing areas. I mean, one of my favorite books, what was it? Well, case in point, appropriately named Brainwashed by Ben Shapiro. He wrote that years ago. Obviously, I don't agree with everything he says or does, but he has some good books out there. And the book talks about the lack of real diversity of thought on college campuses. And now most college campuses, in terms of the professor and leaderships, is 98% plus leftists or liberal. There's very little diversity on an average college campus of thought, which the whole original idea was college actually was to discuss different ideals and philosophies and gain different opinions, not just be indoctrinated, which unfortunately is what I think it's become in large. Stork's Nest says, "Where are all these gross people coming from? I feel like there's really a weird epidemic happening," getting 386 likes. Let's see here. Anti-left memes says insane and evil, although it's not really MMA, it's just a screenshot of an article. Nevertheless, this article says New Hampshire YMCA hosting LGBTQ plus teen night out for minors, getting 60 likes. Quite concerning, especially what the YMCA used to stand for. The conservative alternative says, just like the police officers, the people who are attracted to these positions of power are often the exact people who would never want to occupy them, getting 213 likes. Yeah. As if you needed yet another reason not to go to a public school. So we'll see if there's any actual real consequences for this professor, or if he's just reassigned to something else. I mean, unfortunately, I'm pretty pessimistic just with the average university practices, but let me know what you think will happen, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the political part podcast, you have a viral video of pretty much dozens of Democrats saying the egg prices are all bad, when in fact they're going down. And also, do a little research. Who was the person who ordered the execution of all those chickens that could not lay the eggs? Spoiler, it was the Biden administration. Yeah, they said there's a bird flu, so they had to cull or get rid of a bunch of the bunch of the supply. So again, you have less supply and demand, prices go up. Now this comes to us thanks to End Wokeness, in which he says, quote, last week, 22 Senate Democrats read the same script blaming Trump for egg prices. They say that egg prices in January were $6.55, and now they're $4.89, down 25%. Again, I suspect they'll continue to go down in the future as well.
Starting on day one.
And that's just, is that the whole video? I mean, at least they have a lot of money. They fund a lot of money. They're corrupt as hell, many of them. You have money for a thesaurus. It's free on the internet. If you want to really, live large, as some would say, sometimes you buy physical thesaurus, which one do I have? I love that little thing. I have the little yellow copy or the little yellow book. Thesauruses are really cool. Some would say awesome or exponentially. All right, I was about to do a whole thesaurus thing, but I partially digress. Yeah, they're all just saying the same thing because that's what they and the mainstream media does and do. And this is maybe it's because they've done it so many times, it didn't go as viral as I thought it should. Got about 115,000 likes and views and 5.1 thousand likes. One of the first comments is End Wokeness giving credit to Inside Wire, who originally came up with this compilation, gained 323 likes. America Papa Bear says, quote, egg prices are down, gas is down, inflation is down. What are they crying about next? Winning, getting 81 likes, which I'll be really happy once the price of housing goes down. That'd be really nice. I'd like to buy a house before I die. Now, granted, there's only so many things the government can do. And, well, if they were to get rid of some of the illegal demand for houses, then, yeah, that would actually help out, but we'll see. Paul Zupa says their silence is excellent. Spelled EGG. Says, I'm sorry. Getting 15 likes. How did it only get 15 likes? Let's make it 16 at very least. How do you not like that pun? Ooh, 18 likes. Going up like a stock. Well, not stocks these days on the average. You also have Amuse saying good catch, getting 28 likes. Ryan Jacobson says, quote, they've already forgotten, but we won't let them. There's a picture of Kamala, Obama, and Biden. It says they held power for the 12 of the last 16 years. Yet they still blame Trump for everything wrong in the United States, while claiming they know how to fix it. Getting 12 likes. Should be 13 likes. That's a good point. Sarah Smith says, suddenly the left doesn't know what to say. And it's a little chart that's tracking the price of eggs, and it drops dramatically. Getting 12 likes. Kelly Leak says, and just like that, liberals don't care about egg prices. Getting 2 likes. Philip Anderson says, quote, Democrats are full of shite. They are the ones who caused inflation. They're the ones who slaughtered millions of chickens. Trump is the one getting egg prices down, getting 50 likes, which, again, in terms of Trump's actions, I can't help but think it's probably just the chickens naturally repopulating each other to increase the supply. I haven't seen any specific executive actions with Trump in regard to poultry. I think don't get me wrong, I think some of Trump's policies are helping the United States, obviously, but I'm not sure about this specific issue. Let's see. A lot of people having old vintage flyers for egg prices throughout the years. RJ says, LOL, yeah, we subsidize imports from unknown countries where chickens were raised in unknown conditions. Now that supply is mixed in with domestic supply. Oh, taxpayers paid $1 per egg. Getting 4 likes. Let's see. Chaotic Genius says they had their script ready, but reality hit them hard. Prices are dropping under President Trump, and they have no one to blame but themselves. Getting 2 likes. Thankfully, prices of eggs will continue to drop more and more. But yeah, I think maybe it's just because, especially the mainstream media and politicians have done this so many times and spoken as a monolith. Maybe we're desensitized to it just because we've seen it happen so many times. But why do you think it didn't go more viral? Let me know, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the business blunder of the day, you have the Ford Navigator being recalled for a fire risk, which is not great. Now, this comes to us thanks to Natalie over at USA Today, in which they say, quote, over 35,000 Lincoln Navigators recalled for fire risk, here's the vehicles that are impacted, which, yeah, your more profitable, important vehicles, probably want to make sure they don't burst into flames, Ford, which, yeah, not financial advice, but their stock is dropping like a Boeing airplane these days. Not great. They spent, $830 million on warranty work Q3 last year? That's a pretty penny flushed down the toilet. Now, diving into the article, they say, quote, Ford is recalling more than 35,000 Lincoln Navigator vehicles due to a risk of fire. Now, this is the most bizarre recall I've ever heard. The LED logo lights in the vehicle's exterior mirrors may short circuit, increasing the risk of a fire, according to a recall post by the Federal Safety Regulations. The recall affects 35,328 vehicles, first reported by the National Highway Traffic Association. They say, here's what you want to know. A couple years. So the Lincoln Navigator 2015 to 2017 are the ones being recalled. Now they say, what should you do if you own one of these monstrosities? I say dealers, oh geez Louise. So what do? They say dealers will disconnect the LED light wires free of charge, according to the report. Which is almost like a kid. Like, how do you fix that clock that's on fire, Bobby? Oh, just unplug it. Yeah, I mean, that works, I guess. Like, I guess that's a temporary fix, technically. Now, they note that notification letters are expected to be mailed to owners around March 24th, or just tune into the Topping Show, where we cover the recalls about a month or more in advance on average. They say that owners may contact Ford customer service. It's going to be busy. That's got to be, in terms of like being charged per minute, Ford is probably the happiest company on the planet that it's not the 90s anymore, where there was a time in history where, you know, if you're a phone number, you get charged per minute. That'd be a pretty penny, because I'm sure that number is used a lot. They say that customer service number is 866-436-7332. The number for the recall is 25S08. Again, this recall is 25S08, which, yeah, it does not appear they have actually an upgrade or replacement component yet. They're literally just going to unplug it. And again, one of the most important things for automobile companies is their luxury divisions. That's why pretty much every single auto manufacturer has a luxury vehicle. I mean, Honda has Acura, Toyota has Lexus, Ford has Lincoln, which again, I know they don't sell a lot of these things, but in terms of being a huge, profitable SUV, I mean, this is it. This is Ford's big thing. They sell these huge things for huge prices, and people are willing to pay for it because of the perceived luxury. Got a couple of extra pieces of leather, some cool tech, and people love that. So if there's any quality assurance at Ford, allegedly they have employees that do that, rumored, you would think they would focus a lot of their energy on the most profitable things, like these luxury SUVs, and have something where, again, it's the logo light that can just burst into flames. Now, thankfully, no one's been hurt by this. There's been no reports of any accidents or anyone passing away, so they got ahead of the situation. But still, to have a recall on one of the most profitable, important things that you make as a manufacturer, gotta say, Ford, that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I really appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.